Hello and welcome to Beyond Mount Rushmore, the history you never knew you needed. I'm Jeff Hickox, and across from me, my buddy and pal, and of course, presidential historian, Mr. Stan Nawalani.
Hey, everybody, how are you?
How you going, Stan?
I'm good. I'm good. Good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
I do know what we're talking about today, and I'm going to pose a question to you and our audience.
Okay, question away.
What do you know about Thomas Jefferson?
Well, obviously...
Well, you know more than the average guy.
I do, yeah. But I know, I'm obviously statesman, founding father, Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, that's what we were taught.
Yeah.
Was our first Secretary of State under George Washington.
Correct.
The nation's second vice president under John Adams. What do you know about his family?
Well, a little, Sally and such.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I think everybody knew Thomas Jefferson was married. His wife died, and he took up with Sally Hemings, who was one of his slaves.
Correct.
And allegedly had a bunch of kids.
Right. Boy, there's a lot to that.
There is
a lot more to that.
So much more to this.
Yeah.
And we joke around about this podcast. It's this stuff that you didn't learn in school.
Right.
You may have learned a little bit about this in school, but they didn't tell you everything. You're going to realize, especially after we're done here, everybody's human. Yes. And everybody has their little quirks, kinks.
Right. True. Very true.
Mark my words, and I want everybody listening, especially you people in Lithuania. Everybody has a kink.
Well, we all know that from your last show, Stan.
Yeah, that's right.
Porterhouse.
Yep, correct. That was my safe word. But his love life, if you look at the history books, Thomas Jefferson was married to Martha Skelton. Martha Skelton Jefferson. They were married from 1772 until her death in 1782.
10 years.
10 years. And of course, as we just pointed out in your classroom, you will hear that he had a long, blasphemous relationship with his inherited slave, Sally Hemings.
Yes.
By the way, Sally Hemings' real first name was Sarah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, history doesn't want you to know because they suppress.
Yeah, a lot of what we're going to tell you is glossed over.
It was.
Yeah.
You may know about Thomas Jefferson, if you read your history books, that he had at least 12 children.
12.
6 with his wife, Martha. Only 2 of those children lived to adulthood. And he had at least 6 children with Sally Hemings. You think, okay, that's pretty complex and controversial.
Yeah, I mean, think about that.
It's a good start on the life of Thomas Jefferson, but it's so much more complex and just controversial.
Just scratches the surface.
Very quickly, because we're not going to give you a history lesson from the time he was born till his death. We've done that with the 4th of July special all of that. Thomas Jefferson was born April 13th, 1743, at his family's plantation called Shadwell. It was in the colony of Virginia, then one of the 13 colonies of British America. He was the third of 10 children. At one time or another, other than being the first Secretary of State and the second Vice President, he held other titles as well.
Yes.
He was the second governor of revolutionary Virginia. He was also the U.S. minister to France. We'll get into that.
Yes, we will.
He was the person who actually organized the Democrat-Republican Party. That was different than the Federalists. Yeah. He was the one that founded the Democratic-Republican Party. And he was also the founder of the University of Virginia.
Correct.
And I'm going to say another thing right now, and we've brought it up before in the past. If you look at his tombstone, it mentions all of that.
Does it?
Yeah, except that he was president. He didn't want that on his tombstone.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Now, that was so far down the line as far as he felt. The University of Virginia was his pride and joy.
Oh, yes, definitely.
And he thought the presidency was so far down the line, not even worth putting on his tombstone.
He also dealt with the Barbary pirates, did he?
He most certainly did with then President John Adams.
Right, yeah.
Because he was his vice president.
He
and
did
the
a lot.
two of them did not understand the Barbary pirates.
No.
Well, Jefferson
Jefferson
understood.
did, yeah.
He knew they weren't going to stop at anything.
Right.
But we're not talking about all of this stuff. We're talking about his personal life.
We are.
What kind of guy was he? And you and I have talked about, he was a scoundrel. He really was.
Is the word they used back then.
Let's start. Now, again, it's not how many, it's the way he handled things.
Correct.
We start at around the year 1761. John Walker was a college classmate of Thomas Jefferson. They were close friends. John Walker was a very important man in history as well, as I will explain just a little bit here. But again, I want to stick to the Jefferson story.
Yes.
But John Walker was a college classmate and close friend of Thomas Jefferson. Jefferson was even a groomsman at his wedding to the lovely Betsy.
There you go.
And was also the executor of his will and testament.
Okay.
He was the one that was going to oversee when John Walker died. They were such buddies. I want you to oversee my will.
That's a very close friendship.
It was.
Yeah.
John Walker had a lot of responsibilities. He was on the verge of leaving town for 4 months to help negotiate a peace treaty with the American Indians at Fort Stanwix, which is now Rome, New York.
Oh.
And Walker took Jefferson aside, walked with him on the eve of his leaving, and said, I'm going to be gone for 4 months. You're my dear friend. You're the one overseeing my estate.
Yeah.
I need you to keep an eye on my wife, keep her safe. Don't let anything happen to her. And Thomas Jefferson assured his friend John Walker that nothing would happen to his wife and that she would remain safe. He readily agreed to it. Why?
Why?
Because he was madly, and I mean head over heels, madly in love with his wife, Betsy.
He was.
He had the hots for her like nobody had.
Ooh, awkward.
Shortly after, and again, depending on the historians who have written about this, shortly after Walker left, Jefferson put the moves on her. Now, we don't know if it was just a pass at her or he went further than that, and use your imagination to what further could be, because in the 18th century, there was not a lot written about especially statesmen and details of assault or rape or anything like that.
Correct.
He made a pass at her.
Right.
He had other indiscretions. and so that the details of that stuff are not brought up. So how far did he go?
Yeah.
Let your imagination run wild.
Right. They could be sugarcoating the actual.
Correct. And why do I think that they were sugarcoating? And again, historians say they may have sugarcoated this.
Yeah.
It only came out about this love that Jefferson had for Betsy and the incident years later, when the Walkers, Betsy and her husband John, decided to rewrite their will.
Oh.
And in doing so, Betsy had to speak up. John Walker intended to keep Thomas Jefferson as executor of his will. And it was only then that Betsy told him, you shouldn't, and here's why.
Wow.
it changed.
Yeah.
He was no longer in charge of his will.
Wow.
So we don't know.
It had to be something, though.
Yep.
I don't know if it was just a pass to have that kind of a change.
Correct. So Jefferson is now 28 years old in 1772. And he marries Martha Skelton. Martha was 23 years old and was his third cousin. So they were related.
Okay.
Note, on so many different levels, when I say third cousin, that is going to play into so much more later on in this podcast.
It sure does.
It is believed he was faithful to his wife, Martha, and they loved each other very much. But keep in mind, and you brought it up at the beginning of this podcast, they were only married for 10 years.
Right.
Not a whole heck of a lot of time. They were busy, too, in those 10 years. 6 kids.
6 kids.
Again, I told you 2 of them lived to adulthood, but the rest of them died young. And that which was commonplace in those days.
Horrible time.
That's the way people lived their lives, though. If you lived on a farm,
Yeah.
you needed farmhands.
Right.
And you would have 10 kids with mama.
Yeah.
And if 4 of them lived to adulthood, you were lucky.
That's why they had 10.
Martha was with all. She was bedded a lot by him, and you would think, is she the picture of health? No, she was not.
No.
She suffered from ill health for much of her life. Diabetes, they say, and think about the times. We're in the 18th century.
Yeah.
Frequent childbirth made her quite weak.
Yeah.
A few months after the birth of her last child, she died.
Oh.
September 6th, 1782. Thomas Jefferson was by her bedside. So that was nice.
Yeah.
I don't know how people live their lives. I think if you're leaving this world, and you've seen it even in movies,
Yeah.
if somebody's leaving this world, they shouldn't make some dying declaration rule for you or request.
I agree.
I want you, Thomas, to live the rest of your life in living hell.
Right.
And that's basically, he was not an old guy by any stretch of the means right now.
No.
Shortly before her death, Martha made Jefferson promise to never marry again. This only after 10 years of marriage.
Yeah, that's not a promise you should really give or make.
She told him that she could not bear to have another mother raise her children. Only 2 of them survived. What the heck do you want?
I know, right?
Jeez, you know what? Guess what, Martha? 4 of them don't have to worry about it.
Ouch.
Well, it's the truth.
I know.
He never remarried again.
Nope.
Never. And keep in mind on this. This is long before he's in the White House.
Yeah.
Long. He publicly mourned. Again, that was a whole big deal back in those days.
Yeah, it was.
He publicly mourned. What's going on with Thomas Jefferson? He's in mourning. Oh, when does that end? Well, for him, it ended after 4 years.
Wow.
Of public mourning.
4 years.
For his wife, Martha.
That's almost half as long as he was married to her. Wow. You're lucky you get 4 months nowadays.
Yeah, no kidding. But that didn't mean he stopped having a good time.
That's why we have this episode.
Yeah. And he had those good times with married women.
He did.
We're not talking about single. Keep in mind, his best buddy,
Yeah.
he makes a move on his wife.
Right.
He's like their groomsman, executor of his
Right.
He makes a move on his wife.
Possibly assaulted his wife.
Yes. And now his wife, after only 10 years and 6 children, childbirth weakened her. He's now gallivanting around with more married women.
He is. Scoundrel.
He is a scoundrel. He's only 39 years old.
Yeah, see?
So he's still in the prime of life.
Yeah, that's young.
In 1785, keep in mind, 15 years before being elected president of the United States. Jefferson was living in Paris. As we told you, he was the U.S. minister to France.
He was. There's a movie called Jefferson in Paris.
Yes, there is. With a lot of these details.
Yeah.
Again, softened up.
Correct.
Follow me, because I'm going to tell you a little story in here.
Okay.
While at a party in Paris, Jefferson met the wife of English painter Richard Causeway.
Yeah.
Her name was Maria.
It is Maria, or was Maria.
This was at a party. He was introduced to her. Now, the story goes that Jefferson, right off the bat, fell for her beauty and her intellect. They say it was instantaneous. Mm-hmm. All the time, her husband, Richard Causeway, was across the room at the party. She was said to have long, curly blonde hair, blue eyes, an Italian accent, and a cupid face.
Oh, boy.
She was educated and talented. Jefferson loved it.
I'm going to have to try to find a picture of her and put it on the Facebook page.
No film.
No.
You can see a drawing.
That's what I mean.
A sketch. I can give you
A
an
painting.
artist rendition. She was talented. She played the harpsichord, could sing, and she painted like her husband.
Yeah.
Even better, she was quite an acclaimed artist.
Yeah.
At the party where Jefferson just meets her and her husband is in the same room, he was by her side the entire time. When guests were beginning to leave the party, he would not leave the party. He stayed by her side.
That is something.
Here's the odd thing. By this point in time, if you were her husband, you'd be looking over and going, what the?
Right.
He didn't care. They say he showed no interest in breaking the two of them up at the party.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So infatuated with this woman was Jefferson that he forgot that he was the U.S. minister. Why? Because when the party broke up,
mm-hmm.
he was supposed to have a meeting with the Duchess d'Anville and broke that meeting off to spend it with Maria Causeway.
Wow.
I do not wish to meet with the Duchess. He's the minister in Paris.
Dereliction of duty.
I'm going to meet with Maria instead. And he did.
Wow.
In fact, Jefferson dropped the ball completely and spent the next 8 weeks with her. Didn't report in, didn't have any meetings, didn't go and do anything. He's just going to spend 8 weeks with her.
Wow. Where's the husband?
The husband encouraged the affair and left them alone.
Really?
Yep. I don't know if there was some kind of sinister thing on that he could go and really cause problems in the United States and France. Or
do you think maybe he just was impressed by Jefferson's reputation?
But he had a tremendous reputation.
Right. Huh.
And as your teachers tell you or told you, it stayed intact. It could easily have blown up.
Boy, it could have.
When the Causeway's time was up in France, they returned to their home in London.
Okay.
It was Maria herself who made plans to meet up with Jefferson again in Paris the following August.
Okay.
Without her husband.
Oh, boy.
So she said, Thomas, we are going to meet again in August. I will make all the arrangements. Same place, same time, baby. And my husband won't be around. When August arrives, Maria went alone to Paris. Jefferson did not and stood her up.
No.
He never showed.
Wow.
Why?
Why?
Why didn't Thomas Jefferson, after spending 8 weeks with this woman,
Yeah.
her husband says, fine, go ahead, and he stands her up?
What the heck happened?
Sources and scholars say because Jefferson had already taken up with another woman, 31 years his junior.
Of course.
And we're talking about Sally Hemings.
Miss Sally.
This is, I'm going to give you the first few things that are going to blow your mind.
I know. Blew my mind when I found out.
A lot has been written about Sally Hemings and her relationship with Thomas Jefferson. He was about 48 years old at the time. She, a 17-year-old slave who he inherited from his wife's side of the family.
Yep.
They guesstimate, historians, that Jefferson and Hemings probably started a relationship while they were in Paris.
Really?
A little earlier than reported, maybe a few months earlier, which now goes in the overlap
Right.
with the Maria.
So there was a
Causeway.
crossover there.
Yes.
Wow.
Here's what's going to blow your mind. Because Jefferson took his slave, Sally Hemings, to Paris with him,
Yep.
where they became intimate.
And there's no slavery in Paris.
You are correct, my friend. She was legally free
Yep.
in Paris. In France, France did not recognize slavery.
Right.
Jefferson's going back to Monticello.
Mm-hmm.
Sally Hemings, did she love him? Did she care for him? Sally Hemings, get ready,
Yep.
actually negotiated her return to enslavement at Monticello in exchange for the future freedom of her children.
Isn't that something?
So she, a free woman now
Yeah.
in Europe, says, I will go back into slavery. Promise me that you'll release my kids and I will stay with you.
That's another point of contention for me.
Yep. And, well, we'll get into that,
I know.
too.
That's what really irritates me.
She goes back with Jefferson. For years, and we've all been taught that Jefferson had children with his slave, Sally Hemings. For years, especially before the advent of DNA testing,
Yeah.
there was great controversy about who was a Jefferson descendant
Yes.
and who was not. There are famous news stories in television, radio, newspaper articles, famous because of the also now famous Jefferson family reunions.
Yeah.
There is an awful lot of offspring from the Jefferson family.
Lots of kids.
Tons of kids,
Yeah.
grandkids, great-grandkids, great-great-grandkids.
Right.
And if you had the name Jefferson and were one of the Jefferson descendants, every year they had the Jefferson family reunion. It was started by the Monticello Association,
Okay.
not the estate, but the association that ran these Jefferson family reunions.
I see.
The Hemings at the time would say, hey, we're descendants of Thomas Jefferson.
Right.
We'd like to have a family reunion with the Jefferson. No. You're Hemings. This is for Jeffersons. And the Hemings would have their own family reunion.
Right.
And if you saw the news stories from these things, there were all white people at the Jefferson family reunion
Yeah.
and all black people at the Hemings family reunion, and both of them claiming to be offsprings of Thomas Jefferson, which they all
I was
were.
going to say, they all were Jeffersons.
The times that we live in.
Yeah.
And I told you, so this was before DNA testing, a lot of coverage on this. Let me introduce you to Shannon Lanier.
Okay. Hi, Shannon.
Hi. Hi. Shannon is a relative on the Hemmings side of the family.
Oh, okay.
Here's what he had to say about those days.
When we were studying the presidents in second grade, I stood up and I proudly said, Thomas Jefferson is my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. And the teacher said, sit down and stop telling lies.
Because you can't prove that.
Oh,
And
my
it's-
Lord.
And it's, again, before DNA.
Right. Right.
There is a Jefferson family cemetery.
Yes.
None of the Hemmings are allowed to be buried there, and all of the Jefferson descendants have keys to the gate to that
Are
cemetery.
you kidding me?
When the Hemmings were finally allowed to come over and visit, they had to be let in to the gate by a white key holder.
Wow.
This is in the 2000s,
Wow.
late 90s, 2000s. They weren't holding keys to the family graveyard. The Monticello Association voted not to have Hemmings family members buried in the Jefferson family graveyard. If you toured Monticello until recently,
Right.
if you toured Monticello,
Mhm.
slaves were not mentioned.
Oh.
And the majority of the people that lived at Monticello, by a huge majority, were slaves.
Right.
The room which Sally Hemings and her brother lived in, if you were taking the tour at that time,
Okay.
was a bathroom. There were men's and women's bathrooms in the room at Monticello, which was originally the Hemings, Sally, and her brother's bedrooms.
Oh, my goodness.
That has since been taken care of. They have restructured it, and
Oh, good.
it is truly spoken of. This is where they lived while they were slaves.
Right.
It's all changed. The slaves are mentioned. The Hemmings are mentioned because they finally were able to do DNA testing.
Yeah. Boy, that changed a lot.
And here's the kicker to it all. All of the infighting between Jefferson and the Hemmings family on who was related to who
Yeah.
was a big bunch of nothing.
It was.
You see, this is crazy. You see, if you do a DNA profile on the Jefferson side of the family and do a DNA profile on his wife's side of the family, the Skelton side,
Correct.
the Hemmings match up on both sides of the
They
family.
sure do.
The bloodline is on both sides
Right. It's
of the family tree.
Completely the Jeffersons and the Skeltons, both.
Are integrated with Hemmings.
Right.
In other words, Thomas Jefferson, after his wife passed away, basically took up with his wife's sister. Sally was Martha Skelton's half-sister.
That is crazy.
All 12 of Jefferson's children are related on both sides of the family.
Yeah.
So there's no guesswork.
All 12 have Hemmings
Yes.
in them.
Yep.
All 12.
All 12.
Yes.
Hemmings herself, get a load of this. In colonial times, during slavery,
Yeah.
each state judged if you were a black person
Mm-hmm.
by how black you were.
Percentages?
Mhm. In the state of Virginia, the rule in the 19th century was you were considered black if you were 1/4 African.
Okay.
That is exactly what Sally Hemings was. She was 3/4 Caucasian.
Huh.
And that was the rule of Virginia. A person was legally considered black if they were 1/4 or more African. So, if we haven't blown your mind on this already, that there was no reason to have DNA testing, that they are just offspring of Sally Hemings and offsprings of the white Jefferson,
Right.
they're all intertwined.
Yeah.
There is white and black in every single one of them.
And that's why Monticello changed.
That is why they remodeled the whole place.
Yeah.
But how did all this happen? Did it? I mean, if it's on both sides of the family, the Hemmings show. How did this all happen?
Yeah.
Jefferson's wife was the daughter of a man by the name of John Wales, Wayles.
Okay.
When Wales' third wife died, he took Betty Hemmings, a slave, to be his companion, to use a nice word.
Okay.
Betty Hemmings and John Wiles had 6 children together. One of those children was Sally.
Okay.
When John died, he willed all of the children, including Sally, to his daughter, Jefferson's wife, and to her husband, Thomas Jefferson.
Right.
What makes all of this even crazier, if you can get that crazy, is that when Jefferson's wife became sick, Thomas gave up his political life. He said to his friends in Washington, said to John Adams, said, I'm done with this. I'm going back to Monticello, and I'm going back to take care of my wife.
Yeah.
I'm done with politics. Don't like it. Went back to Monticello. His words, not mine or any scholars, to live a normal life. She lasted only 8 weeks when he came back. Had she lasted longer, maybe lingered for a year or two,
Okay.
he would have missed returning to political life and would have missed becoming our third president. Wouldn't have been around.
Wow.
So by her dying, him taking up with Sally Hemings and saying, all right, I'm ready to get back into it, allowed him to become our third president.
Huh.
After Jefferson's death on July 4th, 1826, although not formally freed, Sally Hemings was allowed by Jefferson's daughter, Martha, to live in Charlottesville as a free woman. Her 2 sons, until her death in 1835, were there, and after her death, they were free. It is believed Sally Hemings lived to the age of 61 or 62.
Wow.
Is that incredible? All of the controversy, all of the hidden secrets, all of the stuff that we don't talk about this, and you're not even invited to the family. They go back not even just Jefferson's generation, but before that.
Yeah.
They're all related.
Yeah. But they all have a reunion together now, right?
Yes. Oh, it's all together now.
Yeah.
Here again is our friend Shen and Lucas.
I think one of the legacies that Sally Hemings left her children was that they know who they are. They didn't have to be silenced, that they were able to tell their story.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great story.
What do you got for us? Yeah, I know you always have a little something in there.
I do. One of the things that really irritated me about this story that we didn't really touch on is that he didn't free his own children until after his death.
Yeah, I know. The will was to his daughter.
Yeah.
She kept him.
I couldn't believe that. And when it comes to Maria, he actually, in trying to impress her, actually broke his wrist.
What an idiot.
I know, right? He also wrote over 100 letters to her while he was with Sally.
Yeah, well, he was, again, a scoundrel.
Yeah. Also, lots of complaints about loud, late parties at Monticello.
Oh, he was a man that liked to have a good time.
The neighbors always complained.
There's no doubt about that. He loved a good time.
Yeah. What are we doing next?
I'll tell you what we're doing next, and you have brought it up a couple of times. When are we going to do it? We've done a few fun episodes. I'm going to do next episode we do is going to be a very serious one.
That's going to be that one, yeah.
Grover Cleveland. We did an episode on him, and if you listen to that episode, we tell you we're going to do another episode about him, but it is just a sinister,
it is
cruel episode.
Go back and listen to that episode and before you get before the new one.
During the off week, listen to that episode.
Yeah.
And then when you come back after 2 weeks, when we do this episode coming up,
Right.
you'll understand. Everybody loved Grover Cleveland because he was honest that he had a child out of wedlock.
Right.
That's an honest man. We're going to vote for him. They didn't know the whole story.
But next time you will.
2 weeks. Grover Cleveland and his horrible secret.
This has been Beyond Mount Rushmore. I'm Jeff Hickox. Stan Nawalanik, our self-proclaimed presidential historian, across from me. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, we'll see you. Check out our Facebook page where Jeff is going to try to find a real photograph of Thomas Jefferson's lover in Paris.
That will be a painting.
See ya.